Welcome to this series of the video. So here in today's series, I'm just going to teach you how to style the previous program we did the last video. So now I will just go to our Visual Studio Code here, and here you see this was what we did in the previous video. So I still have, let me minimize this. I still have my folder here. That's the pop-up folder for the project we did for the previous class. So this is the files I have inside, the JavaScript, CSS, and the HTML. So let me just minimize this and go back to the Visual Studio. So in today's lesson, we are just going to go ahead and write styles for all these IDs, the button IDs, the class name, and everything. So I will just quickly go straight to my popup.css file here. So these are the files. So I'll go to popup.css here. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to say dots. Then I will call the popup. This is the popup here. So here, popup trigger. So I will copy this from here and bring it here. So I do dots, then I can paste this. Then I will say use this divider. Now I will say display. I will set the display to be none. Since it's a pop-up, it does not need to show on the web page. It will only show when I refresh the web page. So I can just do the display to be none so it doesn't show. Then I can set the position here to fix. So I said position is fixed. Now here I will say the top. I set the top to 0. Sorry. I set the top to 0, and also I will set the left to 0 also, so it will be placed well. Now the next thing I have to do is I need to give it a width of 100%, and also I'll give it a height also, so a height also of 100% too. Then here I will just try and give it a color, so I'll say background color is RGBA. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'll say the first one is 0. The second one where is green, I will just also change the value to 0. This blue also, I'll change the value to 0. Then the last one where I have alpha, I'll say here will be 0.5. So now you see the color is black. So next I will add I will say justify all the contents in this ID to be in center. So that's what I will use. Next, so the next one is I'm going to go ahead and go to this one. I have pop-up here, the div class with pop-up. So I copy this pop-up from here and go here again. I will say dot and paste this, and here I will say I need a background color from here, and the background color from here has to be blue, but you can use any color you like, but I choose blue for myself. Then next I will add a padding of maybe 20 px. Yes, let me say 20 px. And next I'll add a border radius to make it look more beautiful. So border radius of 20. Yes, let me just add 10 px instead of 20. 10 px. Then also I will have a box shadow of 0 px from the left. Then I will also add 0 px from the right. Then from the bottom I can now say 10 px. So that is that. So the next one, I will add a color RGBA also. Now this color, let me add the color inside the box shadow. RGBA here so that I can say the first one where I have red is 0. The second one where I have green is 0, 2, 0. The blue also is 0. And the last one here is 0.2. So I'll just say 0.2. So that's what we have here. Now next, I'm going to add a width of 500 pixel. Then I'm going to say max width from here, max width to be 90%. Then I think I will save this. So let's quickly go to our browser and see the output now. Let me refresh this. So I will refresh. Now you see what we have, the blue color, and the items I did justify content to center, so all of them are now in center. So I added a padding of 20 px. So now you see what it looks like. So quickly let's go back and continue. So the next one we are going to be working about, we are going to be working on the pop-up header. So here we have pop-up header down. This is it. So I'll copy this pop-up header from here and, and go back here. So let me scroll down. Then here I will say dots and I paste this. Then here in the pop-up header, I'm going to say display to flex. Then I'm going to say justify all the content. Justify content to be space between so they can have space. Then align all the items to center. Align items center. Then border from the bottom. Border from the bottom is 1 px. Then I'm going to say solid because I need to add a color to it, solid, and I will use #DDD. That's the color I'm using, is gray. Then the next one is padding from the bottom. Padding from the bottom of 10 pixel. Then I will say the last for this one, I will add a margin. So margin from the bottom also of 10 pixel. So that's that. So I come down again. The next one, I will just quickly do pop-up for the body. So let me go back to HTML. I have pop-up here for the body. So I'll copy this also and bring it to my CSS. Here I will say dot and paste this. So we are not really going to write much code on this. We are just going to say we set the padding here to 20 pixel, and from the right we will say we have 0 here. Next one, we have to go straight to the footer, pop-up footer here, and I will copy from here, bring it again to the CSS. Here I will just say dots and paste this, and then I will say for the footer border on the top 1 px space and solid. So I'm also going to use the arch and DDD for the gray color. Then I will say padding top of 10 pixel. Then I'm going to say text to align right. Text to align at the right. Then let's save this first and quickly let's go and see what we have here. Let's refresh it. So now you see this is what we have now. So quickly, the next one we are going to be working on is the close button. So let's go and copy the close button. Close btn. This is the close button here. So close btn. So I'll copy the class here and say under this close btn dot and this. So I will just say a background to be transparent. background color to be transparent. Then next, border, I don't need a border for this, so I'll just say border to be none. Then the next one, font size, I'm going to give it a font size. So font size of 24 pixel. Then the next one, I'm going to set the cursor to be pointer. Let me save this first and go back to refresh. So now you see on the button it's still showing normal. So now the cursor is going to the button, is supposed to show like a hand to signify that I want to click. So if I go back to my code here and say I'm setting the cursor to be pointer, so if I save it now and go back and refresh, you realize that the cursor is, sorry, 1 minute, let me see the class, this class for the cursor. I Let me see the btn, close btn. This is, let me use this id instead of the other one. So I will use the id to call this. So for id I will say hash and paste this. Now let's go back and refresh and see what is really going on for this. Okay, so quickly I will sort that. Let's just do the next one. I'm going to do is the show. So I will just say dot show, since I have a show class there also. This is the show class here, a class that says show. I have to do a show class because I'm going to call this class in my JavaScript when I get to the, when we are doing the third series. So this class has not been declared yet in my HTML, but I will do it in the thoughts, the next one we are going to be doing. So I just have to just write this down to display in flex. So I'm going to say this to display flex, 1 minute, the display to flex. Then I'm going to just leave this like that. So I'll come down and just save. Now let's just refresh and see where this one is. Okay, so I think 1 minute. Let's save this, save this, save this, and save. So that is what we've gotten for this section of the class. So after now, all right, so you see that on the button close is showing the finger now like a hand here, where I put the cursor in the close button for cursor pointer. So the close button, now you see that is showing a hand like I want to close it. So this is the end of this series. So we are going to do the next one. So I'll send the next video in few minutes from now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.